Hi guys, this is Katie's Conundrums, and I am making a video on dark feminine, dark masculine energy dynamics. For those of you who haven't checked out my 4 core energies video, you should probably do that. There will be a link in the description below, but I'm going to give a little bit of a review. So when our soul uses dark masculine, it always pulls out dark feminine energy, and vice versa. And dark masculine is largely about order, control, projection, honesty, blame, anger, focus, dominance, admiration, and assertiveness. And these can be internally or externally expressed. You can control yourself, or you can try and control others. Anger can be used to hurt other people or blame, or it can be used to set boundaries. And how it is used is what polarizes our soul. Dark feminine is about chaos and destruction, desire and experience, pain and pleasure, self-sacrifice, victimhood, illness, attention, and it's playful. And these can be positive or negative things. We can destroy ourselves by to make way for something new by releasing old habits and thoughts and patterns. We can have sex, for example, to numb pain, which will only create more pain. Or we can have sex to positively share and express pleasure between two people. It really is about the intent behind these energies. They're neither good nor bad. And each of the 4 core energies, dark feminine, dark masculine, light feminine, light masculine, all work on these energy dynamics. One is the law of cause and effect, or the Newtonian law. When a force acts upon a force, you're going to get an equal and opposite reaction. So this goes for energy as well. Dark feminine pulls out dark masculine pulls out dark feminine, and the magnitude or the amount of energy behind it is going to pull an equal amount of energy out of the other person you're interacting with. And the intent behind why you're doing what you're doing in these energies is going to create polarization in your soul, which is just increasing that subconscious energy within yourself. So if you try and control others because you feel powerless deep down inside, or you try and control your environment like you see in OCD cleaning, you're going to pull out that. You're going to create more feelings of powerless by doing that in the long run, even though temporarily controlling other people or your environment may make you feel better. A good way to learn to recognize the different energies is by facial expressions. Like we said, dark masculine is about desire, dominance, and control. Like you can see there, anger and blame, victimhood. A lot of these, it's easier to describe some of the negative expressions because we see those more commonly in our society. This is an example of dark feminine and dark masculine energy dynamics and then pulling them out of each other. And I just got, there we go.
Oh, happy that you came. I was really nervous about Joe coming in.
So while we watch this video, I'd like you to try and recognize when people are in dark feminine and dark masculine and the effect that they're having on each other.
Wondering what she was thinking, of what kind of person I was or my family.
Right there, he was asking about what people were thinking about him, his family. He was looking for admiration, which is something that the dark masculine needs.
Mum and Dad's first order of business was to sort out snack time.
All right. So the first thing that we see happening in this video is the dad goes and he immediately is yelling. It looks like he's blaming or complaining to his wife about something. And so we're going to see what effect that has on her and how these energy dynamics play out. Because remember, dark masculine pulls out dark feminine. The cause and effect, the equal, the opposite, and the magnitude of what he puts out towards her is going to come back to him.
And I couldn't help but see Mum was doing everything and Dad was just overwatching it. So are there duties that you both share together then?
Anything to do with the kids is my responsibility. Anything to do with cleaning is my responsibility.
Right. Then, sorry, yours is?
All right. So she's already a little bit irritated from him because he was standing over her, yelling at her, pulling out her dark feminine. And so Super Nanny was being honest with her and asked her what was going on. She was in her dark masculine, which pulled out the wife's dark feminine, and she expressed her frustrations and feelings of being victimized or being hurt by her husband. And I'm not saying that he's not being a jerk or that anyone's bad or any of these things. It isn't about judgment. This video is just 100% about trying to understand the energy dynamics that our soul uses and the effects that it has.
I'm just trying to define him.
Oh, we haven't figured that one out yet.
No, I have to go to work, come home,
Play video games.
play with Philip, relax.
So they're already getting heated. Things are getting a little more chaotic. The energy they're exchanging is increasing. She accuses her husband of playing video games and not helping her, which is a blame or dark masculine, and it's coming subconsciously from a place of dark feminine, which is feeling victimized, versus telling her husband, you know, when you come home and you play video games and you ignore me, that makes me feel pretty shitty and it's just stressful, which would be combining, would be using light feminine. And yeah.
So he has quality time.
It's like no responsibilities.
So as soon as she sent some blame or dark masculine to her husband, he immediately got defensive. He felt victimized and he started blaming her and telling her all the reasons why it was her fault. And if you remember the energy dynamics that happen, the end result, the end feeling of the person using the energy comes from their intent. The wife's intent at the first was to criticize or express her feelings of kind of being wronged by her husband. And then he did the same thing to her, and they both ended up feeling wronged and blamed, and no one's feelings were validated because they were only oscillating between dark masculine, wounded dark masculine, and wounded or negative dark feminine.
You know, he comes home and he gets to relax. I don't get to do that.
Seriously, are you kidding me? He's got no idea about the importance of couples coming together and sharing the responsibilities when they both work.
That's another thing. I'll come
We
home.
don't have time in the morning to be in the house. Though.
There's time to pick up your cereal bowl and not eat.
Nobody's ready. Nobody. Morning. Nobody.
So we see they go between I'm blaming you, and then the other person that they're blaming feels victimized, so they blame. And even though the kids aren't specifically interacting with them or talking to them, if you notice, the kids are chaotic. They're crying. The energy in the room has massively increased. They're tugging on their parents. they're being super chaotic. And this is because their parents' energy dynamic is pulling out the dark feminine and dark masculine in the children, and they're behaving that way because of the energy that their parents are in.
Ask the question. Is this how you talk to each other all the time?
All the time.
So the cool thing is, like I said, as we work on understanding and integrating our four energies together, you can have a more positive effect. Super Nanny just used dark masculine energy and light masculine to bring control and order to a situation. She projected a boundary. She's like, look, we need to stop this for a second. And she asked them a question. And she said, is this how you guys normally talk to each other? Which pulls out dark feminine and light feminine energy. And if you haven't seen my 4 core videos, light feminine is about being authentic and vulnerable and expressing your feelings of some of this victimizing energy and blaming energy that is going around. And so after she did this, we're going to see the effect that it has on the energy dynamics of the family.
God.
They talk over one another, they interrupt, and it causes a lot of confrontation. Stabby.
So they were able to calm down and stop and think about stuff. They still had their feelings of frustration, blame, victimhood, and disdain, but because Super Nanny used one of the more lighter energies and combined it with the dark masculine energy, she was able to change and pull out a different energy within them. And that's part of this ascension process, because using those two energies together versus continually reacting between blame and victimhood, anger and frustration, guilt and remorse, all of these different things, which you'll see in this episode, she's combining other energies to help pull that out and teach them and help them integrate those energies and activate their Merkaba. Because the more we combine two energies at a time, the more stable we can make our fourth density Merkaba, and the more harmony and love we can have for each other in our ascension process and our world.
Oh, she might have went out back.
I did find Mum outside deeply upset with the argument that had just gone down.
What's going on? I love Phil more than anything in this world, but he needs to step up to the plate.
So when you separated and you got back together again, was that something he said he was willing to do?
Yeah.
To step up? If it doesn't get better, then what?
I don't know.
If Phil chooses.
Yeah. So I also have another one I want to show you guys, because I do think that it's really good just to kind of get our juices flowing and start thinking about some of these energy dynamics.
Love is so many things. And it, above all, is the most powerful thing we have in our lives.
As men, we deal with this.
Oh.
All right, I love this because the way it started was perfect. He was oscillating in a 3D way and only using one energy, which was dark masculine. And if you look back at what he said, as men, we deal with this all the time. And immediately he pulls out some defensiveness, some feelings of victimhood in these other people, and they immediately react.
I'm not even let me land. In the hand, like what my man said. He lands. Well, hold on.
This is why this is so hard for a man.
So immediately he pulls out dark feminine in the other two girls or the people in the room, and they project dark masculine back. And his soul realizes that to get his point across, he is going to have to combine two energies at a time to make this a little bit better. And as you'll see, he's going to be using dark masculine, which is honesty, but he's also going to be using light masculine, which is understanding and a more loving energy to get his point across without just strictly blaming or criticizing someone else.
To explain, because wait, all right. Do you go through periods every month?
Yes,
Do you chemically change every month?
yes.
Are you emotionally unstable every month? Yeah, not in
bro.
all situations. I don't.
Oh, don't answer like
So there's a lot going on here because there's multiple people pulling out different energies, but he's oscillated back to dark masculine. And you can see from the lady's expressions as you go back,
Yeah, not in
bro.
all situations. I don't.
oh, don't answer like a
they go into dark feminine energy. And they're like, that's not me at first. And then someone else kind of uses that same dark masculine, light masculine, and it pulls out, or I mean, dark masculine, light feminine, which light feminine is love and understanding and acceptance paired with honesty. And then once they did that, they were able to kind of think, maybe a little bit. But it was because someone else in the room used light feminine, which is love and acceptance, with honesty. And it pulled out dark masculine, dark feminine and light masculine, which is understanding.
girl.
No, but you have a point as well.
He's
I've
making a
got
point.
a period, but listen, let me have a period. Listen. I've been around. To be honest with you, no, to be honest, but we have to be honest.
So he immediately starts with dark masculine. He's like, no, listen to me. We got to be honest. And the other guy pulls out his dark feminine. He's like, oh, come on.
We can't generalize. Right? We can't generalize. I've had many girlfriends, many links, many whatever, just as you have. But in my personal experience, they've never treated me differently or acted differently to a point where I can say you're emotionally unbalanced because you're on your period. To me, listen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. But in my experience, in general.
Chris, why are you shaking your head?
No, not in general. But we're dealing with generals.
Hold on.
So in using his dark masculine energy, mostly he pulls out dark feminine and the other people, and they're like, no, that's not me. Hold on. This one's a little bit harder because there's a lot of using one energy and two energies at a time, and there's a bunch of people in here. But this is just to get started in understanding these energy dynamics. And I will do some more videos on all of this, and I hope you liked it. Thank you.